When we picture animal courtship, we imagine an orderly spectacle, a male bird puffing its feathers, performing an intricate dance specifically designed to impress. In this classic textbook model, the female has a very comfortable job. She sits at a safe distance, silently evaluating the performance, and eventually chooses the winner. But if we look down into the muddy water of an amphibian breeding ground, that peaceful illusion completely dissolves. During mating season, male frogs abandon any pretense of polite courtship. Driven by entirely different biological triggers, their behavior becomes frantic, aggressive, and incredibly persistent. They gather in dense, swirling mobs in the water. Dozens of highly competitive males will ferociously tackle and grapple with almost anything that moves past them. A female frog entering this environment faces an immediate physical disparity. She is completely outnumbered, outweighed by the sheer mass of the group, and is unable to simply outswim the frenzied males. Standard evasion tactics fail here. The swamp is thoroughly saturated with males aggressively sweeping the area, making it virtually impossible to hide. The males will latch onto her back tightly, completely bypassing any biological need for her consent. It forces her into a highly dangerous situation where she can easily be crushed or drowned under the weight of multiple suitors. The structure of the swamp traps the female in a severe physical bottleneck, placing her in an environment seemingly designed to strip her of all reproductive autonomy. Imagine the moment of contact. A female is cornered against the reeds, and a male tightly clamps his grip around her torso. She cannot overpower him, so instead of struggling, she goes entirely limp. Her movement stops completely, and her limbs fall slack against the mud. This illustrates what happens beneath the surface. This is tonic immobility, an involuntary biological shutdown, marked by a dramatic drop in heart rate and complete cessation of muscle tension. With joints locking to simulate rigor mortis, she perfectly replicates a rotting, unviable body. To the male frog clinging to her back, this sudden, total lack of physical resistance creates a highly convincing sensory illusion. His evolutionary hardware is wired to expect tactile feedback. His mating trigger relies on feeling a breathing, struggling female to confirm that he is holding a living partner. By cutting off all of that physical feedback, the female creates a biological short circuit. Without the sensory cues of life, the male's brain processes the encounter as an evolutionary dead end. The confusion overrides his persistence. He loses interest in the rigid body, unclasps his grip, and swims back out into the chaotic frenzy to try again. Feigning death allows the female to hack the male's own biological imperative, using his strict sensory requirements against him to quickly neutralize the assault. The water around her eventually settles. The mob of males has moved further down the bank, leaving her alone in the shallows. The tonic state breaks. Her muscles loosen instantly. She regains full mobility, and she slips away silently beneath the surface. The immediate tactical payoff is clear. She vetoed a chaotic, low-quality mating attempt without sustaining the deep tissue injuries or exhaustion that comes from wrestling. This flowchart tracks her genetic payoff. By bypassing the mob at the red node, she preserves her unfertilized eggs. She buys herself the crucial time needed to route her path toward a genetically superior match in a safer environment. A temporary simulation of death acts as the exact mechanism that guarantees the survival of her reproductive autonomy. This specific behavior challenges how biologists understand amphibian intelligence and adaptability in the wild. This logic model shows the traditional function of tonic immobility, a last resort defense to stop an apex predator from attacking. But the female frog applies it differently. She brilliantly adapted this cross-species survival tool to filter out unwanted mates. Historically, scientific observation treated female frogs as passive vessels, merely waiting in the background while males violently fought to determine the genetic future. But the mechanics of the death ruse show that female frogs are highly sophisticated, active participants. They will weaponize their very mortality to dictate exactly when and with whom their species continues.